three guys who could go guys in tonight with name masks on. Chris and David, how are you today?
Very well, Glenn. Thank you. How about yourself?
Oh, not bad. Just it's Halloween, so I'm just waiting for something to go wrong. Chris, what about yourself?
Not bad. I'm trying to get involved. Stephen Presley, like lookalike circuit. So it's going fairly well. The offers they're not that high, but I'm getting a lot of offers. So I'll put it that way.
Oh, I mean, only if you don't speak. I mean, he's the most depressing guy in Scottish football, and you're certainly not that. Right? Okay, guys, let's get on with tonight's show. So tonight we're discussing Hearts, the title chase. The man who might challenge Chris is Aberdeen's funniest fan. That's the Penguin stealing director of football, I'll try and pronounce this, Pfaffenstyle. And this weekend's fixtures, and of course our quiz, which we always start with. So I believe Nori left you with hanging with a question. So I'll just go back with that one. Alec Ferguson, who took charge of a total of 2,155 competitive games between 1974 and 2013, holds the record for the most games as a manager. But how many teams has he managed? Now, I caught the end of your show last time, and I think one said 3 and one said 4, and that's not right. So, guys, what do you think?
Wow.
You've had a week and no Googling.
Didn't Google. Well, it's definitely not 2, so it must be at least 5. I would think, if that's the case.
You're going to go 5. Chris?
It might be more than 5, but I think it must be at least 5. I can't imagine it's 2. No, it's definitely not 2.
Just a quick question. I take it one of them can be an international team.
Ooh,
yes.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Right. You said it wasn't 4. Then you did say that, didn't you? Aye.
Yeah. Well, I know he said it's not 3 and it's not 4.
Right. I'll go 5 then.
I mean, hey, guys, you're both right, but now here's the hard part. Name the teams.
St Mirren.
St Mirren 1. Aberdeen. Aye.
Manchester United.
Aye.
Scotland.
3 down.
And it's
Scotland.
The last one's going to be the killer.
Well, see, David, you've done 4 out of 5, so surely it's over to Chris for the last one.
Well, good luck, Chris.
No conferring. Obviously, if you were conferring, then you would have had the answer. I don't know why I'm going to say this, but I'll just say it anyway. I know it's wrong, but I don't know. I'll just say it.
Okay. What about yourself, David? Are you going to have a wee punt? Chris, you are right. It's wrong.
My mind's blank. I think it must be a Scots team, but I don't know.
He started off in 1974 with East Stirlingshire.
Oh, of course he did. Oh, yes.
Never mind. Hey, guys, 4 out of 5. It's not bad. Right. We'll get on with the first question for this week, okay? Which current manager in the Scottish Premiership played for French side Toulouse?
Toulouse.
I don't know, but probably the guy at Motherwell, the unpronounceable name. Is he
French? No, not him.
No.
Although, I mean, to be fair, it should be the Aberdeen manager because that's all we do, Toulouse, you know.
Toulouse.
Oh, must be the Rangers guy. Did he play in Toulouse?
Roll. Ooh, okay. Could it be?
I'm giving up. That's two shots and got no one.
I think I can rule out David Gray.
It's not Roll, no. Sorry, what was that, Chris?
I think I can rule out David Gray.
I'm pretty certain it's not him. I can't imagine it's Steve Robinson. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to keep quiet.
Martindale, no, I couldn't imagine the
I mean, what
with the accent. Current
manager.
Are we talking football or any other sport?
No, football. And in the men's game, yep. Because I sometimes do trick questions.
Nah, not a clue.
What were you, Chris?
I'll just say a Neil. I might as well.
Nope, it is Derek McInnes.
Is it really?
Really?
Yeah, he was loaned out to them from Rangers.
Crikey.
Yeah, I know. He didn't stay there very long, but no, he played for Toulouse, yeah. Right. So anyway, I'll move on just now with more questions later. But Hearts, right? Well, almost everybody outside the old firm is no doubt excited to see what seems to be a decent challenge for the title. They're off to an absolute flyer. They've won all of the group stage matches in the League Cup. They've played 10 in the league, won 8, drawn 2, undefeated. I mean, it is really, really good. They have thoroughly beat Celtic now 3-1. They've beat Rangers 2-0. So they've passed what I would imagine a lot of people would say are their toughest tests. Well, so far anyway. They've no European football to contend with. Same as Aberdeen when they put their challenge in their bizarre roller coaster season last season. They have a new manager, same as Aberdeen last time. Heavy recruitment, same as Aberdeen last time. So, Chris, will they go the same way as Aberdeen, or are they the real deal that most of Scottish football is wanting?
Well, I mean, up until now they are, and I would say that. I mean, they absolutely annihilated Celtic. I think when McGregor got that equaliser, people thought, well, they'll just kick on for there. But I mean, I think Norrie was saying it last week that Hearts might be overawed with the occasion, and I did say, well, it's Tynecastle, so it's their occasion to be overawed with. But for me, the biggest, Tulane came in and won, was all before him. Then they 2-0 down at Celtic, equalised. So I thought, right, there's a resilience there. But I think one of the biggest things for me is obviously Braga, but Shankland's back in form, scoring, but also making goals and bullying players. And McInnes has been down this road a long, long time. So for me, I suppose the long answer to a short question is I think McInnes is the biggest difference just now. He's not going to let them get above themselves. And if they're going to have a decent chance of this, then I think that, I know often I'd say it, but I think McInnes is going to be one of the biggest factors in this.
Yeah, no, a lot of what you're saying there, I agree. What are your thoughts, David?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think the other big factor is Tony Bloom, to be perfectly honest, because he's done wonders at Brighton. Mike's Stoney was a Brighton fan, and I've been down a few times. But I'll give you the observation that, and sorry to go back to last week, but at one point, Hibs were 3-1 up, and then it suddenly became 2-1 pretty quickly. And I was watching the Rangers game at Easter Road and keeping an eye on the scores, and it was 3-1 to St Mirren, and then the game ended 2-2. Only in Scotland could that happen. I mean, unbelievable. But good at Hearts. I'm a Hibs fan, but fantastic. Long may it continue. What a run. Do
you think they'll last longer? I mean, we can get into whether we actually think they'll go the whole way or not. But I mean, Aberdeen, I think they went on a 19 unbeaten run, and then everything just went, completely to pot. The current Hearts setup. And you mentioned Jamestown analytics, etc. You mentioned the investment they got. We've obviously, McInnes is there, and they've got some decent players as well. Do you think they're going to last longer? Do you think they're going to go possibly go all the way? Because I mean, it's the first time, almost like a perfect storm, isn't it? There is trouble in paradise and with Celtic, okay, and there's a lot of problems and issues in Rangers. So if any team was ever going to have the perfect opportunity to do it, Hearts have got it right now. So what do you think, David?
Absolutely. Perfect opportunity. Old Firm, change managers in the same month, never mind the same season, and Hearts are storming ahead. Yeah, I think it's a perfect time. I think it's almost theirs to lose now. I think whether will they go all the way? Possibly not, because I think Celtic could just bring out the checkbook in January if push came to shove. But come on, Hearts. Let's just keep doing it. Fantastic. Yeah. Except against
I agree as well what you're saying about Celtic and the possibility of the checkbook. I mean, we all know their finances are in excellent shape, much better shape, obviously, than the team, although they had a really good win midweek. But they've got 70-odd million sitting in the bank. They've had it. Yep, they've had a scare with with the way it's went. The defeat to Hearts has obviously caused huge arguments inside the boardroom, etc. Rodgers is gone. They've went for a safe pair of hands. Somebody who knows the club inside out, etc. So you can almost say that they've panicked a little bit. I think they will have a reset in January with players. Chris, what are your thoughts on that?
It's not really so much the checkbook, I think, with Celtic. It's just more that they were absolutely in disarray. And for me, Rodgers has got an ego, and that's everybody's got an ego, but I think his is a bit. I know another comedian that's done a night over there, and he was wanting to take charge of everything. And he's obviously he was the king over there, and that's the way it should be. But yeah, I think they've got rid of that now, and much more so than the checkbook. I think they'll settle down a bit under the old. Neil's very self-effacing, so I think they'll settle down a wee bit under him. And the Europe thing is massive because the distraction of that for Celtic and Rangers, that's big as well.
Yeah.
I think they'll last longer, but it's not so much the checkbook with Celtic. It's just that there's guys there that have been the distance, and not that I think what happened donkeys ago will affect Hearts, but essentially that's what did happen. Kid, sadly, no for Hearts scored in the last, in the final game of the season, so they'll have that hanging in the back of their mind somewhere. McInnes has never won the league, so yeah, I don't think it'll be checkbook, but I think nearer the tail end of the season, people will say suspensions than injuries. I think it'll more be the mindset really, because just now there's zero pressure on. Or there's always pressure, but there's very little pressure just now compared to what there will be in the last 10 games of the season. And to be honest, I'm just hoping Hearts are there or thereabouts at that stage. Yeah,
again, great point. We're all hoping that it goes the distance, and they actually ultimately do it. I agree with what you said earlier about Lawrence Shankland and Braga. Braga's been really impressive as well. And there's little, as you say, there's little pressure with them just now as well, which is means they've got the ability just to go out there. They're full of confidence and they're playing really good football. You've got two strikers that are really, really in form. They've got the Jamestown analytics as well. Who have identified other players like Alexandros as well. He's key to them as well. I don't know if their squad is big enough. You mentioned you don't think it'll be down to injuries and suspensions. I think that might play a part. It depends how much investment will be ready for Hearts. If Celtic do go with a checkbook, can Hearts identify some players we'll never have heard of? Claudio Braga. He came from the second division in Norway. He's been outstanding just now. Him and Shankland have both scored 9 goals, and I think they're assisting as well. So they're finishing, they're creating, and they're linking up really well. It's nice seeing a team play with two strikers. You've got all that, and you've got McInnes, and he's been through it. Now he failed with Aberdeen. It didn't have the same level of investment at that time. It was a different scenario. They were only up against Celtic. I think it was 2015, 2016. They lost at round about the end of April, May. But they did go quite far before Celtic actually put it to bed. Do you think McInnes will have learned enough to actually this time make it, do things differently, etc.? He doesn't have any title winners in there. He's got experienced professionals, guys that have played a lot. He's got young players in the mix as well that are keen. They don't know about failure, and they don't mind that at all. They'll just go out and play, etc. But as you say, as Fergie would say, itchy bum time, squeaky bum time. When you get close to the line, will they start? Matches they would win before, will they become draws? Will the pressure get to them? So how do you reckon McInnes has learned? And he actually, if they're in a proper fight come January, he'll manage to secure investment where he can actually, get 1 or 2 seasoned campaigners, people that have done it before. What are your thoughts, guys? David, if you don't mind.
In a quick, short answer, yes. I think McInnes is the guy that could do that. I think he's very astute. He's far more clever than I think people give him credit for. When he's at Aberdeen, he had them playing fantastic, in my opinion, with very little resources. Now he could have substantial resources if required. So I'm going to stick my neck out and say yes. I think he is the man that could do it.
Chris?
Well, I think he'll bring his European playing experience to the fore. I mean, I don't know if you know, but he played for Toulouse. Mooney. He's very reserved, and he doesn't jump quickly. He doesn't react. He's a bit like Steve Clark, I suppose. He doesn't react too much, and now he's definitely very, very more reserved, and more. I mean, for me, one of the biggest characteristics he's got is he knocked Rangers back twice. So I don't think he'll ever come calling again. I think he knew that this time was probably, if he knocked them back this time, then that was it. So I think that's maybe taking a bit of pressure off him and the board seeing that commitment, which is great. So that for me is telling. And if they don't win, I don't think it'll be through lack of investment or analytics, anything like that. It just might be that they haven't done it before. But of course, Leicester hadn't done it before. One of the things as well, like Devlin, Casidris as well, a couple of international guys, Aussies in there. Wee things like that just we links like that just help the bonding. So I think it's definitely possible. I'll just repeat myself. Celtic have done it before, and there's 3 or 4 guys in the team that have done it and know that when everything looks bad, they just keep going, and eventually it comes their way. So that would be my biggest concern. But I think McInnes is there for the long haul, and there's a chance he can get success. But the ones that have been over the line so many more times before, it's generally those that do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people will be sitting back looking at this just now. It's a really, really great story for Scottish football, but it is far too early to call whether they will or they won't do it. I think they've got every opportunity. I think, as we mentioned earlier, it has just aligned almost perfectly for them. You've got a manager in Derek McInnes that's got vast amounts of experience of Scottish football, and as a player as well, he's been in those situations. So with his younger players, I reckon he will guide them through it, etc. I think he has got the back end where he can actually he will be allowed to recruit in January. I mean, even if they don't get first place, I mean, second place will carry a fair prize with it as well. And it's the Bloom has spoke about Hearts as a project, and I think McInnes buys into that. He did his time at Aberdeen after previously being with Bristol, and I think it was St Johnstone, wasn't it? He got his opportunity there. He did well, league position wise, etc. But you'll probably see this as one of the few opportunities you're going to get to actually go and really, really, truly make history. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to watch it. But there are other factors in there. Obviously, there's could it be a revival of Rangers? Don't know. Could it be Celtic? So we touched on Celtic and the panic stations, the all change, etc. Brendan resigning, the chaos. I mean, I think the owner came out with a scathing attack on Brendan, and said it was all about him, his ego, and all this kind of stuff. And he's left him in a really bad position. I mean, prior to the midweek matches, they were 8 points off the lead, I think it was. And if God were just not playing, I mean, it really genuinely looked like they weren't playing for Brendan. So you can see why they've done it. David, do you think the midweek victory, right? Martin O'Neill's arrival, etc. Do you think that could be, or is it the start of the revival of Celtic?
It could be. I wouldn't go as far as say it will be, because it's one-off game. Martin O'Neill, you got a wee bounce, but it certainly could be. And Martin O'Neill looks hungry to be a manager again, even at his age. So I think Hearts' biggest, I wouldn't say problem, but Celtic is going to be the biggest hurdle they've got to get over somehow.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the main challenger for them. I think. I mean, it's early days, etc. I mean, and we've yet to see how Roll will do. And maybe Roll's going to be brilliant, etc. But he's got very little experience of Scottish football, and it didn't look particularly great the European match against Brann. But he's still got to he's got to get grips with the team, etc. And his biggest issue would probably be that I don't think he's got funds. Yes, I think that's all been spent already. So yeah, Celtic, the main rivals for Hearts. Can they catch Hearts? What do you think, Chris?
I think they can catch them. I mean, the whole thing, the way that unfolded was just absolute comic book stuff. You had Rodgers saying 2 weeks ago, I said, read my lips. I'll not be leaving. I'll not be. And it'll all come out in the wash, and it'll be. I'm no normally into this fit my sweetie wifery, but with this, I've got my colours on and my baffies, and I'm sitting there with my best gun dog, just waiting for it all to come out, and it'll be, as I say, I'm not normally into that side of the football, but just they can't both be right. But I don't know if Dermot is he the owner? I thought he was like he
owns just short of 30%.
He's the majority shareholder. Is the term they use? Yeah.
So both of them have got big egos, but there was a definite. I mean, I think everybody saw them allays the results, and even when they were winning, it was terrible foot, just so pedestrian and predictable. So something had to change. So there's definitely trouble in paradise, to pardon the pun. But I mean, I'll be honest. I think even if will he make it to the end of the season, and will the new Celtic guy? It would not surprise me. I think one of the biggest things is that, and I don't want to jinx him, but one of the biggest things is that McInnes will be there at the end of the season. Whether the new Celtic guy is or Roll is, I'm not quite so convinced. And as far as funds go, I mean, I know guys like the accountant. He was involved with Angels at one point, and some of the stuff, King would come into a meeting and say, right, I'm not giving you any more money, and then come out and say it's terrible. Offered them a blank checkbook, and they said no. So they're just recycling debts. So there's lots of things going to happen. Celtic's on a sure footing financially, but as far as the turmoil goes, I don't know. And as I say, I could see whoever the new guy coming in not making it to the end of the season. Same with Roll, but McInnes, I think that's one of the biggest plus points, that he'll be there regardless. And that I suppose you must be able to put a price on it, but that is priceless as far as continuity and faith in your team goes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That, along with Hearts not actually having European football, they can just purely concentrate on the league. So, O'Neill's come in. O'Neill's got a good pedigree, obviously, before with when he with Celtic and other clubs. He's done very well for them in Europe as well. So I think he led them to the UEFA Cup final, etc., against Mourinho, and they were unlucky in that one. Or you can say that Mourinho's team are cheating, throwing themselves down, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, he's good in Europe. Celtic fans generally have expected a certain level of performance in Europe, and have expected their team to compete in Europe. So they've got a double pressure there of trying to catch Hearts, but whilst also playing in Europe. Do you think Celtic fans this season would possibly accept sacrificing European competition, etc., so that their team can actually concentrate on winning the league? Or do you think that's just unacceptable for them? They have to perform in both, and the pressure's on straight away. What do you think, David?
No, I think the Celtic fans they want both. They want it all. They want it now. They have no patience. My brother's a Celtic fan. I don't know why, but when Hibs tried to go back to winning the Cup 2016, he phoned me up and said, "I know how you feel." And I said, "How could you possibly know how I feel? You stroll through trophies like there's no tomorrow. You have no idea how I feel." But thanks for the sentiment. But going back to Celtic, no, I think they want it all. There's greedy. I don't know if that's the right word, but impatient. No, I think they want it all. And I think, going back to Brendan Rodgers, I think he knew he wasn't going to get a new contract. I think everyone knew that. And I wonder if the Honda Ferrari comment was designed to get him out. His self-destruct. I'm out here.
Okay. No, you could well be right with that, yeah. Okay, so that's Celtic tucked in their second place. We all got our thoughts on whether they can actually do it or not. Rangers under Roll, with a big question mark over that. Fourth place, Hibs. Now, there must be a lot of pressure now on David Gray. He's done a fantastic job. In my opinion, anyway, as an Aberdeen fan, that match against us, the 3-3 match, when he had, that last 5-6 minutes was just absolute bedlam. But that turned the season around. I thought credit to the Hibs chairman, etc., to stick with him anyway, and they've gone on and they seem to play decent football, and the results have been not too bad. But just as Rangers managers are often held up against this, the success or not success of Celtic, Hibs naturally must be held up against the success or not success of Hearts. And currently, across the city, Hearts are flying, absolutely flying. So is there pressure building on Hibs? I mean, they came close to being to beating or drawing with Rangers. There was a penalty saved by Butland in the last minute in midweek. That drops him down to 4th. What do you think? Can Hibs, with the backing they've got just now, can they emulate or come close to Hearts? Or are we looking at a period of dominance from Hearts for the next 2, 3, 4 seasons? And David, I know this is not a nice question for you, but anyway, over to you.
This season, I think Hearts are too far in front. I don't think there's any possibility of catching them. And good luck to them. If they win the league, I'll be quietly pleased. Dominance. Who knows? Listen, McInnes wins the league. He'd be inundated with offers down south to manage.
Good point.
I don't know if it's dominance. Well, I'd like to think not, but you could be correct. Too early to tell. As Chris has said, certainly catch them, they could crumble. It's been done before. Good question, but sitting on the fence. That's the best I can do as a Hibs supporter. Sorry.
No, that's fair enough. Totally respect where you're coming from. Chris, look, McInnes, if he's really successful, he might get offers from down south. We've seen him leave before. He went down to Bristol, and there was no investment there. So he might be a bit careful before he jumps again, because I mean he hasn't went to Rangers either twice because they've been in a mess as well. So I think if he is to leave Hearts, he will go for a club that where he, not guaranteed like success or something or investment, but he will really, really check it out. Sorry, you want to come back in, David?
Yeah, like another Tony Bloom club.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was just going to go. The thing is, if Tony Bloom's investment, he's obviously come up here and he's serious about it. And if they are successful, I think Tony, as good as they are at identifying players, they're also very good at identifying managers. So if McInnes moves on, the setup at Hearts should allow another manager to come in there, and they already have the foundations in place. That's where I'm coming from when I say this could be a period of domination from Edinburgh and near the top of the table for Hearts. Chris, what do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously Hearts are out there in front just now. I would say between 4th and 7th, there's a couple of points really. So it's hard to read anything into what's going to happen right now, I would say. And as far as McInnes goes, I think age brings certain wisdom as well. Mistakes you've maybe made in the past, but I think it's laudable to go abroad, down to England, call it whatever you want, and try at a different level. But he's obviously been stung with that in the past. But the real cliche comes out for me. It's where you're loved, and if he feels that he's loved right now, and the players they obviously are, they're sitting top of the league, so that really carries a lot of sway for me. So I'm no Mystic Meg, but I think he knows that there's investment, and with investment means that people believe in him. So there's a belief there, and they're sitting top of the league. So I don't see him going anywhere, unless Barcelona come in. So we know that's not going to happen. I don't see him going anywhere. But I mean, I think both Edinburgh clubs have to be really pleased that the way where they're sitting in the league and the way they're playing compared to this time last year. I mean, it's an obvious point, but it was who was going to go. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when. That song was coming out every other week. So I think it's safe to say that's been banished to the history books just now. I'm just enjoying it just now, to be honest. But I think Hibs can definitely stay or climb. I've got no doubts about that.
No, it's fantastic for Scottish football, full stop. And I think actually Derek McInnes isn't going to go anywhere. He normally hangs around. He stayed at Aberdeen for 6-7 years because he was backed by the board, etc. I get the impression that he's going to be backed again at Hearts, and he'll be there at least 2-3 seasons before. If he does move on, then he'll be moving on to something that he thinks is actually a good, safe stepping stone kind of thing. But it's good for Scottish football. It's good to see a challenge. So, guys, that's the title chase at the moment. Second question. Let's get our thinking caps on. So here we go. And this one's Scottish women's football. So despite losing 4-3 to Switzerland at Dunfermline's East End Park on Tuesday night, why were the crowd and Caroline Weir delighted when she finally scored in the 93rd minute?
Not a clue.
Because she scored, I suppose.
Other than the obvious that she scored.
Did she equal or break a record or some sort of scoring record?
No.
Okay.
It must be a goal difference thing then.
It was a friendly.
Oh, okay.
Even so. She won a Toblerone.
Oh, well. No. So anyway, it's always been apparently her ultimate dream to score there. She is a Real Madrid. Caroline Weir is a Dunfermline fan. She grew up with a season ticket for them, and she used to have her birthday parties there. So, I mean, she tried so hard in that game. She assisted two. She had one chalked off, but in the 93rd minute, she eventually got the goal, and the place went absolutely bananas for her. So, cracking. I mean, it's good for, she is an amazing servant for Scottish football, and on the Ballon d'Or as well. She's won Player of the Year consecutively for Real Madrid. She is something else. Anyway, from the legend that could be Caroline Weir to the legend that is the almost unpronounceable Luft Pfaffenstyle. Okay, this is the when you hear about like no characters left in the game, etc. You just need to go and look at Aberdeen. Go and look at this guy. Just been appointed director of football of Aberdeen, and he is highly entertaining. I was stunned but delighted when I heard the news because I bought my eldest the book, his book, The Unstoppable Goalkeeper. It's an amazing story of a man who once stole a penguin. He spent 101 days in a Singapore jail when he was falsely accused of match fixing. He has modelled for Armani. He has played for 25 clubs in 13 countries. He is the first professional footballer to play in all 6 continents of FIFA. He turned down a contract with Bayern Munich when he was 19 because he wanted to travel the world, and was described by 442 magazine as the craziest man in football. And now he's in Aberdeen. So has he come to the right place or not? Chris, you're an Aberdeen fan. What are your thoughts on the appointment?
Well, I mean, you say there's not many guys like him in world football, and the reason is most people that live like that are dead by the time they're 25. Let's be honest. So he's climbed to the top of that particular pile. I'm all for just I did a bit of travelling as well, to be honest, and I think it's like you meet people and they say, "Well, I done a country, I done," and I hate that sort of chat, but to have that level of expertise and just the willing to go to these places, sometimes do a bit of time as well, right enough. But I think it can only help. I mean, even if you isolate one particular aspect of it, the amount of players he'll know in world football before anything else, before you even kick a ball, the guy literally will know somebody that knows somebody. So you can't put a price on that. And I think Mavericks are, well, more of them are needed. Chick Charnley, but he sounds like a sort of international Chick Charnley. So I'm all for it, and maybe we'll be nicknamed the Penguins or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm absolutely all for it. Great life experience, and just that's Strachan did it. Strachan went away, left football, and concentrated in our sports for a couple of years. And I think that is one of the best things you can do is to move in different circles and think differently. So yeah, it's a maverick appointment that could pay decent dividends, I hope.
Yeah. Oh, you're spot on with his contacts as well, because he launched a company basically called Global United to raise awareness of climate change, etc. And to launch it, he enlisted Zico, Zinedine Zidane, Lothar Matthäus, and Carlos Valderrama. So he's got contacts all over the world, and he's done scouting as well. And when you mentioned about most people like him being dead, apparently he was declared dead 3 times on a pitch after his lung collapsed in a following a collision. But on a slightly more serious note, poor guy. He's been recruited. He's been a manager before. But the position he's come into is as the director of football. And what they've said is because he's got vast experience with contact, he's run youth academies, etc. And he's basically, this is his his expertise. He's done it in the MLS as well now. But Is this Dave Cormack's backup plan, or is he Dave Cormack's backup plan? If it doesn't work out with Yemi, he's got a ready-made manager from the can just step in there and guide the ship. What do you reckon, David?
I think there's probably a lot of truth in that. Yes, it's similar to Hibs with a certain Mark that arrived at Hibs with a managerial pedigree, and I wasn't best pleased that he arrived. But I have to say, I've warmed to the guy. He's done okay, but I still think if anything happened to David Gray, he would be right in there. So I would imagine Aberdeen they're just covering the odds. I don't see what's wrong with that, really.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it is the case, and it's quite sensible, you know. I mean, they're to help, and if it goes wrong, you've got somebody step in. But I'll tell you one thing: it will not be boring at Aberdeen. What happens?
Fantastic.
Right, so on to this the weekend matches, and of course we've got a cracker on Saturday with the League Cup semi-final, Motherwell and St Mirren. Before we actually discuss the match, I've got a wee question. I mean, the reports I've read indicate that both sides have sold about 8,500 tickets. Should this match have been moved to a neutral venue to create a better atmosphere? Yes. Or should the players and fans get their Hampden experience? The Motherwell manager, Askew, he believes that they should get their big day out to Hampden as well. So he's in that camp. But I can see both points of view. But Chris, what do you reckon about should it be moved to create a better atmosphere, or should they get the Hampden day out?
I thought more tickets would have been sold, given that it's not as if it was Aberdeen. It's not that's a day and a half sort of getting there and back, and if ScotRail decide to put their slippers on as usual. So I thought more tickets would have been sold. More will be sold probably at the last minute. But yeah, I mean, I think they should get the Hampden experience. What more can you do to encourage people to go, right, well, you've earned the right to play here? Because it's about the players are the ones that got them there, so they should get their Hampden experience as well. And yeah, I mean, hopefully a few neutrals will go. But I think they should. Finance would maybe dictate play it somewhere smaller, but I think, if you build it, they'll come. So play it at Hampden. They deserve it, and hopefully they kick on. And this time next year, they're going with double the crowd. So I'd be up for Hampden, and the fans will, you know yourself. The fans can make up for it. Honestly, a bit of endeavour and encouragement, and they'll make it sound a lot louder than maybe the 20, whatever, the 16,000 that are there at the moment. So yeah, Hampden for me.
What do you think, David?
I've been to Hampden when it's been half empty, and it's not an experience that I want to try again. I understand both sides of the argument, but I think a smaller venue where Tynecastle, for argument's sake, that would be fantastic. But it's not Hampden, I accept that. I think, as usual, money rules everything. So the SFA will never agree to that in a million light years, I don't think.
I mean, that's the whole reason why it is at Hampden. You're right, David. I mean, the SFA, they don't pay for another stadium, so they own the stadium now after they've done their deal with Queen's Park. Personally, I think it's fine because they're both from that area, so it actually makes common sense for me, for the fans. There's less travel, etc. Had it been, I don't know, Inverness and they were playing Dundee, then common sense, in my opinion, should be that you play at Pittodrie or something. Less travelling for the fans, better atmosphere, etc. But for these two teams, basically Hampden's almost like a local one for them. So it should be, it should be a good match, and hopefully the atmosphere will be fine as well. So I don't know if you watched the first time these guys played in the league, and it was 0-0 in Paisley, and it was a decent match, but obviously no goals. I think Motherwell were playing without a striker as well that time, just because of injuries. I think this is going to be a cracker. I think you've got two teams that are, well, St Mirren, first of all, very organised, and they play decent football on the break as well. They can be physical, but they've got a really good midfield as well that can play the ball. Motherwell, honestly, the new manager has been a revelation. And they're now, with their really the quick pressing, possession, the way they move the ball, it's a joy to watch. Neutrals enjoy watching them. They should have beaten Celtic. They were very unlucky in that one. They're starting to get the results. So live on TV, hopefully a great advert for Scottish football. Chris, what are you thinking about the match?
I don't know. I don't think I can see past Motherwell, to be honest. I just think Askew's come in and he's changed things now. They're a bit more attacking, all over the pitch, really. So I don't know. I'm hoping it goes to extra time, but I fancy Motherwell to come out on top.
Okay. What about yourself, David?
I'd like to sit in the fence, but given I can't sit in the fence, I think I'm tending to go a wee bit towards St Mirren, because I think Robinson's an astute character, and they've got, as you say, their midfield can be just dynamic. Could win it by a goal. Who knows? But be great to watch. Fantastic.
Chris, when you were saying about penalties, Askew has already said that his team have been practicing practices. That he says they are ready for penalties. I think he's expecting it to be a tight game as well. I mean, or close, maybe not tight, because they do actually both like to attack. I look at both teams, and there's players to enjoy on both sides. But guys, I'll go to you, Chris. First of all, who do you think is potentially a match winner for both sides, and who do you think is potentially a match saver? Who has got to play well if their team are going to get to the final, Chris?
I think Gogic has to play well and sort of calm down a bit. They're needing he's got to have learned for last week, but I think a good calm head might just be enough to get St Mirren through if they were going to go through. But as I say, I don't think they will. I mean, Askew's already started getting in people's head by talking about penalties, so straight away you're going, well, that's I think that's a smooth move. But yeah, so I'm still going with Mother. Maybe Sparrow to get the winner. I don't know, but it could go to extra time possibly.
David, thoughts on match winners, match savers?
I think Gogic has to play well for him to stand a chance. But even if he does, it's that tight. As Chris says, the Sparrow, he could, who knows? Wouldn't like to put last tenner on that match. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I mean, I think Killian Phillips saw a lot of him, or quite a bit of him when he was playing for Aberdeen. I think he was Crystal Palace before. I think he has been a really astute signing. He is central. He can play. He can score. He can also break up play. So I think for St Mirren, if he plays well, they could dominate them. Well, not dominate, but they'll retain the ball and he'll create chances. As far as Motherwell concerned, they've got quite a few standout players. Elliot Watt, I think, has played really well this season. He could have a big influence. It's a really, really, really hard one to call. I mean, I'm with you guys. I think you both mentioned that this may well go to extra time. Robinson's astute. I think he's taken. He took Motherwell to 2 cup finals. He's been there before. He's got a lot of experience. But again, Askew's, I think he was in charge of Sparta Prague and Copenhagen. So he's managed at a high level as well. Hard to call. Chris, you said before you thought it might be Motherwell. Give us your prediction.
Well, it'd be a laugh if McGinn's get one over in his old club right enough. But I would say 1-0 after extra time, because just 1-0 after extra time. But a good game and hopefully a decent crowd.
David, no fence sitting.
No, I hope it's a great game. I think St Mirren might nick it 1-0 in the 90 minutes.
Oh man! So you're both going quite tight, and not too many goals. I'm thinking I'm going to jinx this. I'm thinking it's 3-2 Motherwell in extra time. Great advert for Scottish football. Lots of stuff going on there. Hopefully no VAR controversy, but there probably will be. All right, so that's that cracking match. Back to Premiership duty. We've got Falkirk versus Kilmarnock. This is a really interesting match for both sides for different reasons. You've got Falkirk, who have been under McGlynn. They've been good. They've been normally quite steady, hard to beat, but they were spanked by Celtic 4-0 quite emphatically. Killie, well, they'll be feeling like they've been robbed as well. I mean, this is not a crisis for, well, I don't think it is anyway for Stuart Kettlewell, but that's three games in a row they've lost now. And they've only won twice in 10 league matches since he took charge. It's a kind of form, if it continues, the pressure's going to build on him. So he needs to get a result and needs to get one soon. Whether it'll be tomorrow, I'm not too sure. What do you think, guys? Chris?
Well, what amazes me is that people are amazed that Falkirk, are doing well. I thought when Falkirk came up, I thought they've got a decent chance of being mid-table. I think they're a decent team, and yeah, I don't know. I think they're probably in a wee bit of a run just now. To be honest, and the guy that scored the second goal, one of the boys I play football with, his son in the Monday night, he was saying that he is a centre half, but essentially when he was playing with them, they just played him anywhere because he fitted in. He was just like an all round player. If you remember, he did the roll over in the box just before he put it away. So I think Falkirk are a really strong team, and I think they might run this one. Kilmarnock a bit down the luck. I think they might run it out 2-0.
What about yourself, David? What are your thoughts on the match?
I think it's going to be another tight one. I think John McGlynn's done brilliantly. And I wouldn't bet against him nicking it by the odd goal.
Yeah, it's. I'm with you. I think it's going to be very tight. Both under pressure for different reasons. I do actually think Falkirk, they're going to steal this one, or not steal it. That's doing a disservice to them because I'm with you as well, Chris. I saw them in the championship, and I actually watched a bit of them in League One as well. I mean, they've romped up the divisions, and he's got them playing attacking football, and of course McGlynn's got a lot of experience. At one point he was in charge of Hearts. I think it was interim, and he's been around a long time, and they're progressive. But I still think 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 to Falkirk. So. Maybe the Premiership game of the season, not game of the season, sorry, game of the weekend. Too early for that. Hearts Dundee, two clubs, completely different ends of the league, looking for results for completely different reasons. Whatever the outcome, it's going to be significant. If Hearts win, they move 9 points clear of Celtic, who are, of course, on a semi-final cup duty. They draw or lose, and all the questions are going to pop up, aren't they, about drop points again, and whether they've got the inability to actually go when it really counts, the small games, the ones you have to win if you're going to win a title. So they're going to be under a lot of pressure for that. Dundee, I mean, really, that's a team. It's well, I say struggling, but sometimes just out of the blue they pick up a result. So, David, thoughts on this game and the two clubs, and we'll talk about the prediction later. But what about the two clubs in the position they're in?
Polar opposites almost. Dundee do get the odd result, but you got to say Hearts have been consistently getting results all season, and I just don't see anything changing this weekend. Don't see it at all.
Yeah, Chris, do you think Hearts can take care of business after the drop points on Wednesday?
I mean, that was the game of the disallowed goals. It was unbelievable. You're like, do you know what? Somebody scored. I'll go away and make a cup of tea and see if was that actually a goal. But I found it. We're nearly pantomime season, so I found it great. It was great entertainment. But no, Hearts just looked strong, and when McGregor equalised against them, it was just they rolled up their sleeves. They just, especially at Tynecastle, just looked like a unit. And I mean, I said the week before last that I thought Dundee were just going to free fall, and at the minute I don't see. I mean, you talked about the grab and the freak result. They deserve to win that game against Celtic, but I don't see a belief in. I think David mentioned that Hearts are absolutely the polar opposite of Tynecastle. So I would say if Dundee get a goal, it'll be 3-1 Hearts. I just think they're very, very strong, and there's a lot of momentum with them. And I mean, everybody plays for a team in the team every week, but it's strong within Hearts. So yeah, at the very least 3-1 to Hearts.
Okay. You're going 3-1, yeah? Okay. David?
4-0.
4-0. Oh, Dundee fans, turn off now, because also I'm going as well. I mean, I think I've said it before. Presley, a reasonably decent defender at a very good level as well. They're he can't seem to get anything out of that defence. They are consistently leaking. They lost that 4 to Aberdeen. They have lost lots of goals. And when they do get a good result, there's not many of them. They don't look confident. And I think Hearts are unbeaten at 9 games in a row. So I can only see a Hearts victory. I'm going to go 3-0.
I say 4 because I think Derek McInnes is astute enough to think about goal difference already. That might make a difference at the end of the day. And he's got firepower in that team. So, yeah, I think he's going to be a goal fest.
Yeah, quite possibly. It'll be entertaining. We'll find out next week if we got them right or we got them wrong. Right, so moving on. The next game, and David, this is one for you. Livingston versus Hibs. Hibs missed the chance to consolidate third place on Wednesday as the Rangers overtook them. It must have been heartbreaking for them to actually have that penalty saved there. I mean, they had a perfect opportunity, and McGrath is normally a very, very decent taker, but when he was at Aberdeen, he did miss a couple when the pressure was really on, and I would imagine that's exactly how he was feeling there. What are your thoughts going into this game, David?
My thoughts are he did miss one for Aberdeen in the same corner against the same keeper. I don't know why Boyle didn't take the penalty, but looking at the two games, I mean, against Aberdeen, we created so many chances. It was ridiculous. And against Rangers, we created precious little, really. Precious little. So it's a week or 2 halves for me in terms of Hibs. But in terms of Livingston, always been a potential banana skin. But I think Hibs will win by the odd couple, I think.
Okay. David, just a quick question for you. I've always wondered this. Do Hibs fans, Hearts fans, when they play against Livingston, do they even consider it any kind of Edinburgh rivalry or, a derby, or is it just another match?
No, it's Livingston pretty close, but no, it's just another game. Just another game. It's not an end team. Not really.
Chris, this match, it's obviously all matches are important for both teams, etc. But I mean, Livingston, bottom. Looking for a result. Martindale is normally puts out a very stoic team. They're hard to break down, always hard to play against, kind of thing. What are your thoughts with this one?
Well, as far as the Livy sort of derby goes, I think the Hearts and Hib fans, it's just an R10 bob in the price of the train. So it's not, ScotRail's the only winner there. Well, the pitch with Livy, that's one of the things they're going to have to contend with, I suppose. But I mean, we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago that Martindale preferred, call it the championship, first of all, whatever you want. He said he preferred it down there because 7 teams could easily take points off each other. So at the minute, it looks as if he's sort of harking back to the good old days. So I think Hibs have got a lot of firepower, and I mean, David's talking about they created precious few against Rangers. Sometimes that will happen, but I think Hibs are there to score goals, really. So I'd say probably they'll maybe 2-1 winners, Hibs. I just feel that Livy, there's this sort of malaise running about the place, and Martindale's great and all the rest of it, but I don't see them lifting it this weekend.
Yeah. Sorry, David, did you put a score in for it? You said Hibs would win, but what do you say?
A couple. I would think 2 or 3-0.
Okay. I'm with you guys though. I think Hibs will win. I think it'll be tight. I think Martindale will, as I said, always well organised, etc. I noticed that Hoylett he's only scored 8 goals in Scotland in his a short career up here, but half of them have been against Livingston. I think he scored 2 for Hibs. Right. He came off the bench, and he scored a couple for Aberdeen. So no doubt Hoylett, he's getting on a bit. He'll probably be on the bench again. I think if it's a tight affair, he comes off the bench. I'm going to go 1-0 to Hibs. We shall see if any of us are right. Moving on. So Sunday, the big game. I think they're all big games, but as far as the rest of the world is concerned, this will be the one. There's one match that'll get the biggest viewing figures, regardless of what we think of it. Celtic versus Rangers, the extra added interest of 2 relatively new managers coming into it. We've spoken about the appointment of Martin O'Neill, but briefly, I think we should speak about Danny Röhl. It's his appointment, a culmination of an almost arduous or shambolic recruitment process. What do we think of him as a manager from what we know? And do we think he's going to get the time that hasn't been afforded to his most recent predecessors? I'll go to David first.
I don't really know that much about him to profess an opinion about his management, but will he get enough time? I think that's result dependent. I think if he gets scalped on Sunday, I'll be surprised not away in January.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Chris?
Well, I think as far as the appointment process went, I mean, that was straight out the SFA playbook, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Honestly, pantomime season come, you know, oh, yes, he will, no, he won't. It was just shambolic, and it was just horrific. I mean, for a non-footballing point of view, I don't think they can afford to sack him. That's the very bottom line, unless he signs something to say, you know, get me out. But I mean, he kept Sheffield Wednesday in the league with roughly the same players he inherited. So that's, you know, was it one swallow doesn't make a whatever? But no, I think that they've got him now, and I mean, I always take it back to Chelsea when they were told they couldn't spend any more, they couldn't recruit any new players, and for me that was a godsend in a way, because they're like, right, well, you don't forget about spending any money on recruiting and worrying about any of that. You know, they know they have to stick with him right now, so that there's a comfort in that, and it's just go for it. But yet, you know, Celtic the other way, O'Neill have brought O'Neill in, and you know, he's the sort of steady hand, but he hadn't managed, I think it was in 6 years, so it's fine to get a wee rousing bit when you come in, because I know the first time he came in, he says, don't tell the press this, but we'll beat Rangers this year, but I'll not tell anybody. So he's a great man manager. I think it'll be a very strange game, I think, because both of these teams will be really hurting, and it's been a long time since you've been able to say that, and I think it's a good thing for Scottish football. So I don't really.
Yeah.
Just
who has to sign? Oh, sorry.
What's that?
Sorry, I thought you were finished there, Chris. On you go.
I think Celtic 2-1 maybe, but it'll be. I think the game will be like the Celtic Rangers recently. The whole thing will be like some sort of disorganised shambles.
Yeah, no, you could well be right there. I mean, I think. Look, he did fine at Sheffield Wednesday. They were a club that were in absolute turmoil as well. So he's going to be used to some of the chaos and maybe the lack of funds. David, you were saying he might be gone by January. I don't know how long they can keep on paying off managers, because the finances are really, really tight there. And I think he's going to struggle when it comes to January, and there isn't the finance to buy the players or get the players that he needs. But with this game anyway, I mean, he switched to a back three. They look a bit more solid at the back. Will it be enough? I don't know. If Martin Neal hadn't come in and Brendan was still there and Celtic were playing the way they were playing, well, it'd be a different game. But Celtic started that game midweek with an intensity I hadn't seen for quite some time. Still a bit sloppy at the back initially, but the midfield got a fair grip of the the match. He rang the changes as well, because he brought in James Forrest, for Hatate, who hadn't been performing but had been getting picked because obviously it's on reputation. And Forrest was fine. Trusty came back in the defence, and they've got that guy who's been taking the goals. I mean, Johnny Kenny, and I knew very little about him before this season. I think they got him from Shamrock Rovers. I was praying that he was Scottish, but he's not. He's Irish. But he took his goals well. Should have had a third as well. If he carries on like that, I reckon he might start getting a call up for Ireland. But I can't see beyond Celtic. I just think this game has come too early for Rangers. And as you said, Chris, Martin he's a good man manager. You saw the effect he had immediately. Tinkered a little bit, but the players that had been playing under Brendan that were on the pitch were playing completely miles better than they were playing for Brendan. So I don't know score-wise at the moment. David, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go 3-1 Celtic. I think you just need to look at Martin O'Neill's celebration when they scored the first one. The guy's 73 and he's jumping about like a teenager. He's just so enthusiastic. They've got to have a positive bounce. Yeah, and Kenny, never heard of him, but crikey, he took both goals pretty well. And should have had a third.
Yeah, definitely. Chris?
Martin O'Neill, teenage kicks. 2-1 Celtic, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 Celtic. So that's all the matches, guys. It just leaves us with a teaser for next week. Oh. Right, so here we go, guys. Which Scot managed the following teams? And these are in order, because I saw last week you were asking if it was in order.
Yes.
So, Hoyuk, Royal Albert, Gala Ferrydean, Berwick Rangers, Falkirk, Heart of Midlothian, Bradford, Kilmarnock, and Dunfermline. So I'll say it one more time. Which Scot managed the following teams? Hoyk, Royal Albert, Gala Ferrydean, Berwick Rangers, Falkirk, Hearts, Bradford, Killie, and Dunfermline. And
Do you want me to jump
yeah.
in?
Sorry, what was that?
Sounds like Jim Jeffries.
Does it
That
indeed?
sounds
Well,
like Jim Jeffries.
well, we'll leave it hanging for next week, and you'll find out if you're right or not. Guys, this has
Okay.
been an absolute pleasure. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Time to go out trick or treating.
Indeed. Thank you both very much. Appreciate it as always.
Yeah,
Oh,
have a
breaking
cracking
it
night,
down.
guys.
Right, all the
Cheers.
best. Thanks.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.